Hi, Kim here. I just wanted to talk to you quickly about a common mistake that I see police officers make who are preparing for promotion, particularly from non-commissioned officer up to commissioned officer rank. And the mistake I see is that they want to stay stuck in the detail. Now, early in your career, it would have been really important to make sure that you knew legislation inside and out, that you knew police operating procedures inside and out, that wherever you were applying for, you understood exactly what their processes were and what was within the rules and what is outside the rules. So the devil really was in the detail, particularly in the early phases of your career. And you needed to be prepared during that promotion process to be able to answer questions and show that you knew those rules. And I think that's probably the same for any profession. In the early stages of your career in any profession, whether that's finance, medicine, accounting, any sort of profession, in those early stages, in the lower levels, you really do need to know the detail because you are the front-facing person with the client and you have to deliver and make sure that you meet all the rules and regulations and manage the risk in those interactions. But when you're moving from non-commissioned up to commissioned officer level, I see there's a tendency to want to get stuck in those details. And I've seen officers in the past just sweating over learning legislation and learning new rules and preparing like they're getting ready for a test. And this isn't a test of the detailed knowledge at this point. You need to demonstrate that you have leadership potential at a much more strategic and executive level. So the things that you need to focus on aren't the detail. And I'll give you a secret. I bet if you're already at this level and preparing to move into commissioned officer level, you really do know the laws. You know enough about the legislation. So stop sweating about trying to cram on that and worry more about, well, what is your professional identity? Yes, I know you are a police officer, but what do you stand for? What do you want to be known for? Which requires self-awareness and ability to self-reflect on what you do really well and how you can leverage that and do it better. And what are your weaknesses? And are they weaknesses that need to be addressed? And if so, how are you going to do that? Or are they weaknesses that really you don't need to spend too much energy stressing about and you can push them to the side and focus your energy on your strengths and being known for your strengths? So that's your professional identity and your personal brand. The second thing you need to worry about is demonstrating strategic capacity. And when you're a supervisor, again, it's about the detail. It's about what is happening today, what is happening with my team, how can I account for overtime, the rostering, HR issues within the team, making sure I've ticked all the boxes in terms of risk management for finances or business continuity or HR or all those things that at officer in charge level or at that supervisor level takes up a lot of your time. But you need to step above that and think strategically, and how can you demonstrate that you do have the capacity to be strategic, to consider the broader organizational goals and not just the personal goals and the team goals? How can you be aware of the interaction at all levels and across all levels within the organization and more broadly? And how can you influence upwards? Because this is your chance to influence the senior executive. So it's not just about giving direction to staff anymore. It's about communicating much more broadly and not allowing yourself to get bogged down in the details. And then the third thing is implementation. How can you make stuff happen? And this isn't about just being given an operation that you go out and run. It is about thinking broadly about, okay, this is the problem. These are the people that can help deliver the solution. How do I gain traction? How do I gain people's support for where I want to go so that you can make things happen. So if you're preparing for promotion this year, start to think more broadly. Don't worry about the detail. I'm pretty sure you know a lot of the detail already. Instead, work at becoming self-aware about how you want to be seen professionally and personally within the organisation, and working on leveraging that. Start to think more strategically and demonstrate you have the capacity to think strategically, and start to look at building your ability to implement, which means your ability to communicate in a way that people listen, they take notice, and you can influence. So I hope those tips were useful, and you can always send me a message or comment below on what your thoughts are and any strategies you have that have helped you in the promotion process. So thanks.